It's always a good day when new books show up at my house. Today, I am here to share another big book haul. Hello book friends, I'm Jen and welcome back to my reading life and welcome to another book haul video. I have a few things to share with you today. First, I have some books that some lovely subscribers sent to me and I wanted to share with all of you. I'm very excited to have these books on my shelf. And then I have another book outlet book haul for you. So many of you used my book outlet code, which is always linked down in the description box below. It gets you $5 off your first $30 order, and it also gives me a $5 coupon if you use my link, and I so appreciate it. And as a result, I was able to get quite a few books for only a very few dollars, which I love. And I thank you again. And if you've recently discovered Book Outlet, I would love to know what you have found there. But before we get into the Book Outlet book haul, I did want to thank a couple of subscribers who recently sent me some books. First up, my subscriber Jeff sent me The House Opposite by Barbara Noble. This is, of course, one of the Dean Street Press Furrowed Middlebrow titles. And this one is set during World War II. And it looks like we're following, I think, 3 different people and their lives in London during the Blitz. We have Elizabeth Simpson. She's a secretary having an affair with her married boss. Her father is an air raid warden, and her terrified mother takes her courage from concealed bottles of rum. Then there's Owen Cathcart, their neurotic teenage neighbor, who slips out during night raids to watch the fireworks and collect souvenirs of shrapnel. And Bob Craven, a soldier Elizabeth uses as cover for her illicit romance, plans his taxi rides to see the most dramatic bomb damage. So, sounds like this is going to be very intense. It says, this is a unique social document and an unforgettable reading experience. So, I am looking forward to this. I've had this on my wish list. I do want to collect and read all of the Dean Street Press Furrowed Middlebrow titles. So, thank you, Jeff, so much for sending this to me. I really, really appreciate it. And then next, I received 3 books from my lovely subscriber, Victoria. Victoria is watching from Northern Wales. Hi, Victoria. And Victoria was having some technical issues with my Patreon group, and I was giving her some assistance. And she so kindly sent me 3 books as a thank you. But really, thank you, Victoria. It was my pleasure that I could help you. And I'm so thrilled to have these books on my shelves now. She sent me Murder is Motive by Frances Duncan. This is a Mordecai Tremaine mystery. And I have read the Christmas Mordecai Tremaine mystery, which I really enjoyed. A little bit like Hercule Poirot. There's just something about him that kind of reminds me of him. And so this is another mystery in that series. And this is Mordecai. He's going to the village of Dalmering. But he's never been able to resist anything in the way of a mystery. And a mystery is precisely what awaits him in this small hamlet. This takes place during a theater production. There's rehearsals going on for a local amateur dramatic production, but Mordecai discovers too soon the real tragedy is unfolding off stage. The star of the show has been found dead, and the spotlight falls on Mordecai, whose reputation in the field of crime solving precedes him. Very much looking forward to this one. You know I love a mystery set in the theater, so thank you, Victoria, for sending me this. And Victoria also sent me another Dean Street Press Furrowed Middlebrow title, and this is Thalia by Frances Faviel. And this is following Rachel. She's an 18-year-old art student in London, but she's recovering from an illness, and she's been advised to spend a year in a warm climate. So she goes to France to act as a companion to Cynthia, a delicate, temperamental woman whose husband is in India, and her 2 children, troubled 15-year-old Thalia of the title, and spoiled young Claude. Thalia quickly becomes devoted to Rachel, but their friendship is strained by Rachel's romance with the son of a well-to-do Breton family. Though it's the awkward, emotional Thalia who lends the novel its title, it's Rachel on whom the novel centers, poignantly telling the tale of her sad first love, her dawning awareness of the vagaries and dishonesties of social life, and the tragedy she is powerless to prevent. Well, I'm very much looking forward to this. I think this might make a really good summer read since it's set in a warm climate. So I think I'm going to put this on my summer pile of possibilities. So thank you for this one, Victoria. And lastly, Victoria sent me a poem for every spring day. This is edited by Ali Asiri. And actually, this is interesting because I didn't realize, I had this on my wish list, and I didn't realize it's actually a collection of poems, and they are more for a younger audience. And at the beginning of each poem, there's a little bit of information about the poem. I think this would make a great book for someone who is trying to get into poetry and is maybe feeling a little intimidated, because it does give you kind of a little synopsis before each poem, like what the poem's meaning is or what it's about or what the author's intention was. So I think that's really helpful, and I'm very much enjoying this collection. I've already been dipping into it. I have my bookmark in here, so I'm just going to read through these every spring day until I'm finished. But thank you, Victoria, so much for these 3 lovely books. I'm so thrilled to have them on my shelves. And now let us get into my book outlet book haul. I'm going to open up this box. This book haul was definitely influenced by both March Mystery Madness and Middle Grade March, as you will see when we get into the books. First up, I have 3 books by the same author. Let me pull them out here. And the author is Janice Hallett. And I picked up 3 more of her books because I read, I'm forgetting the name of it, her most recent, The Killer Question, which was her most recent release. I read that in the fall and loved it. And then I read The Christmas Appeal at the holidays and very much enjoyed that as well. And so I was just kind of in the mood, and I saw that Book Outlet had some of her books, and so I grabbed them. So I have The Mysterious Case of the Alberton Angels, and then I also got The Examiner. And then lastly, they only have this one in hardcover, so I picked up The Twyford Code. And I'm very much looking forward to these. I'm kind of feeling like maybe The Examiner will be the next one I read. It says 6 students, 1 murder. Can you solve the crime? You know, I love anything set in a school, so that one is kind of calling my name. But if you have read any of these 3, let me know what you thought of them and if you recommend one in particular. But I am just kind of in the mood for Janice Hallett. I like her sort of multimedia format that she uses, where the books are all written in emails and memos and text messages and all kinds of things like that, which I just find really fun. They're very quick reads, and I find they're kind of good like palate cleansers in between other maybe heavier reads. So looking forward to those. And then we're going to get into some middle grade books. Up next is a book by an author who I have 2 of her other books already sitting on my shelf that I have not yet read, and I keep buying her books, and I really just need to read one of them. I think I'm going to love her, but I haven't even tried her yet. And that is Emma Carroll. And this is The Girl Who Walked on Air. And this one says, the bigger the danger, the bigger the crowd. 1875. Ladies and gentlefolk, we bring you the sensational story of Louis Reynolds, whose dream is to be a circus showstopper. Her tightrope talents put the finest performers to shame, yet the path to fame is a rocky one. To travel it, Louis must first witness a terrible accident, meet 2 mysterious strangers, cross Niagara Falls, and look death square in the eye. Will Louis find the courage to face such challenges and become the girl who walked on air? That sounds delightful. I might have to sneak this onto my March pile of possibilities. I may just start this today. This sounds really good. I'm kind of in the mood for this. So, okay, gonna give Emma Carroll a read. Hope I love her. I have 2 of her other books. I have In Darkling Wood and When We Were Warriors also sitting on my shelf to read. So hopefully I love this one, and then I can read those as well. But that is my next book from my book haul. Next up is a book that I've heard so many people raving about, and I am very excited to read it. It sounds right up my alley, and that is Leva at Last by Sarah Pennypacker. I just love this cover. So sweet. And this says, what are people for? That's the burning question on the mind of Leva Space Thornblossom. Fame, says Leva's mom, the mayor of Nutsmore. Money, says her dad, the town treasurer. With the help of an orphaned badger, a risk-adverse boy in a hazmat suit, and the town's librarians, Leva sets off to discover her own answer, setting off a chain of events that will change Nutsmore forever. This sounds delightful. Has anyone read this? Did you enjoy it? I really want to read this. This is very high on my list and it may have to go on another upcoming pile of possibilities because I think this might make a good spring summer read. Next up, I have a memoir, and while this is not a middle grade book, it is about a beloved middle grade author, and that is A Girl from Yamhill by Beverly Cleary. This is her memoir of her life, and I have had this book sitting in my book outlet saved for later section for so long. I don't know why I haven't pulled the trigger, but this was the time and I'm very excited. I adore Beverly Cleary. I read every single one of her books that was published when I was a child and adored them all. She is such a fabulous writer and I'm just excited to learn a little bit more about her as a person. And yes, so I'm thrilled to have this one on my shelf now. Excited to spend more time getting to know Beverly Cleary. And my last middle grade book in this book haul is the third book in a series that I just think is delightfully charming, and that is Rock, Paper, Incisors by Amy Timberlake. This is the third book in the Skunk and Badger series. If you have not discovered Skunk and Badger yet, I highly recommend giving them a read. If you enjoy books like The Wind in the Willows, this is very much of a similar ilk, though it is maybe even a smidge funnier than The Wind in the Willows. Have Badger, he does very important rock work, and into his life comes Skunk in the first book, and we just follow along with them. I will have to say that I didn't love the second book as much as I just absolutely adore book one, but I still enjoyed it very much, and I'm really looking forward to book three. This is just such a lovely series, and if you like books about anthropomorphized animals, definitely give the Skunk and Badger trilogy a read. Next up is the one book in this book haul that does not have anything to do with middle grade or mysteries, and this is a classic by an author I really want to read more of, and that is Oh Pioneers by Willa Cather. This is part of her Prairie trilogy, and this is the first in her Prairie novels. I don't know if it's a trilogy. I don't know why I said trilogy. Prairie novels, however many there are. And this follows Alexandra Bergson, the daughter of Swedish immigrants. She takes over the family farm after her father's death, and she falls under the spell of the rich, forbidding Nebraska prairie. With strength and resoluteness, she turns the wild landscape into orderly fields. Born of Cather's early ties to the prairie and to the immigrants who tamed the land, O Pioneers established a new territory in American literature when it was first published in 1913. I'm very much excited to read this one. I love Willa Cather of the two books that I have already read by her, and I'm reading a third book of hers this month and hope to get to more of her work in this year and in the years to come, but very excited to have this one on my shelf. And then finally, I'm going to set this box down now because it's really in the way. Finally, I have a mystery. Well, actually, two mysteries in one. This is a part of the British Library Crime Classics series, and this is Death in White Pajamas and Death Knows No Calendar by John Bude. I just love the British Crime Classics covers. They are so beautiful. This is two books, obviously, by the same author. It says, two of John Bude's finest Golden Age mysteries return to the limelight. In Death in White Pajamas, we have a theater owner. Oh, well, I'm sold already. A slightly sinister producer, a burgeoning playwright, and a cast of ego-driven actors have gathered at a country home to read through the promising script for Pigs in Porcelain. Before the production ever reaches the stage, one of their number is found murdered on the grounds, wearing what mysteriously seems to be somebody else's white pajamas. Enter Inspector Harding and Sergeant Dane to unravel this curious plot. I am here for that. And then Death Knows No Calendar. Investigating a deadly shooting with no shooter in a locked artist studio, detective fiction enthusiast Major Tom Body has a long day ahead of him with 4 colorful suspects to scrutinize and not one, but 2 impossible elements of the crime to solve. This extremely rare and thoroughly entertaining mystery is long overdue in its return to print. Both of those sound fantastic. Has anybody read John Bude or either of these mysteries? Let me know in the comments if you have and if you enjoyed them and or the author's writing. But these both sound fantastic. I'm very excited. Let me grab all the books from this big haul. Can I hold them all up? Let's see. Oh my goodness. There they all are. My big book haul. So excited. I just read a quote on Instagram the other day that said, "My TBR is not a backlog. It is a map of my curiosity." And I love that. That is such a wonderful way of looking at the books you have yet to read on your shelves or on whatever TBR pile of possibilities lists that you keep. I just think that's a wonderful way of taking stock of the books that you want to read. It is a map of your curiosity. So this is what I'm currently curious about, all of these. Thank you all so much for taking time out of your day to spend it here with me as I share with you my most recent book acquisitions. Thank you again to the subscribers who sent me those lovely book gifts. I so appreciate it. Let's chat down in the comments. Have you read any of these books in this book haul? Did you love them? Do you think I will love them? Are you adding any of them to your own TBR map of curiosity? I would love to chat with you. All things books and book hauls down in the comments below. Remember, if you're interested in trying out Book Outlet for the first time, my code is down in the description box below to get you $5 off your first order. If you're here, but you don't have anything you'd like to add in the comments, but you want to let me know that you were here because comments really do help my channel and I do love seeing those, leave something circus related, since I have this book about the tightrope walker. So a circus tent, a clown, I think there's a merry-go-round maybe, a box of popcorn, a balloon, anything you think is related to the circus, leave those emojis in the comments. I love seeing those and knowing that you were here. And if you enjoyed this video, if you could hit that like button and also the hype button if you're on the YouTube mobile app. And if you are new here and you haven't yet subscribed and you would like to see more book hauls, book chats, book recommendations, all the cozy bookish goodness, then I would love it if you would hit that subscribe button and join my cozy corner of booktube. Thank you all again so much for being here. Thank you for all of your lovely comments on my most recent videos. It is getting more and more challenging for me to respond to every comment, but I do read them all and I so appreciate them. Please know that you are seen and I will try to get to all the comments or most of the comments as I can, but I so appreciate them and you for being here. As always, I will be back with another video very soon, and until then, I wish you a good book and a warm cuppa. Bye!